Bill, you can hear me?
Hey, now I can hear you.
Yes, we got it working. Oh, man. Okay, Here we go. Live and in living color. One and only Bill Haney. Joining us live, Marcus Vegas, Fight Up TV. Bill, yo, let's get right into it, man. The whole world wants to know if you have any news, any updates on Devin returning for 2025. What can you let us know?
Well, I know this. I know that boxing in 2023 has been filled with a whole lot of drama, a whole lot of anticipation, and we can expect for another 2024 of boxing excitement. I'm looking forward to Devin getting back in the ring. Of course, it's been probably the longest layoff we've had right now. Mm-hmm. And we're anxious to get back in there. He's been hitting the pads. He's been doing a lot of his running. We're going to start doing some sparring this week, and you can expect for an announcement soon.
Do you guys have a time frame? Like, do you have like by this time or this date, this month, Devin will have returned and had a fight in?
Well, I mean, I think that, everything that he had done thus far, you know what I mean? In a young age of 26, 31 fights. He had 138 amateur fights. His body needed a well-deserved rest. And, I was happy he said that he was going to take a year off. It's approaching that year. So let's look forward to it.
Okay. Given that, how's Devin doing? I know this year wasn't an ideal year for you guys. A lot happened, but how is Devin mentally coming into this year?
What's the name? Did he knock it out again? Hold on one second, Marcos.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah. We also got a question for you, Bill. Someone sent in a question for you. Let's get to it. Hunter on the Hunt wants to ask you, Bill, why not have Devin get Teo and make him eat them words? Huge fight, in my opinion.
Hold on 1 second.
Having audio issues again, Bill? You can hear me? Okay, I think you can hear me clearly now.
Right? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Oh, I
can hear me,
well,
right?
I can't really. No, I can't really hear you. At first it was good, but then it went back out.
Okay, I think it's a little bit of delay, but you can hear me now, right?
Hold on one second. Let me go out. Hold on.
Okay. Shoot. All right. Hey guys, we're gonna get to your super chats and your questions. Having connectivity issues there with Bill, so I apologize for that. Out of my control, to be honest. But we'll work on getting him back. Hold on 1 second. Let me keep sending your guys' questions. Keep sending your guys' comments so we can go and continue speaking to Bill. Let me see something. It might be a option that I set on here to record that might be lagging everything up, but I apologize, guys. Go ahead and take the poll as we manage the issues that we have in from Bill right now. But like I was saying, 2025 hopefully is a interesting and a lot better year for boxing in terms of, I think fans here in the U.S., we want more fights in the U.S. A lot of these fights have gone international, have gone to Riyadh, have gone to London and other places, and that's, boxing is a world sport, and I think for the world fan base, that's good. Obviously there's economics involved in the issue as well. Boxing is a prize fighting sport, and these fighters are fighting for the biggest monetary prize there is. Their MO is to have fights that make them the most amount of money, because you never know, anything can happen in the ring. They can get an injury, and that can be the last fight. So I think that, that's why there's a financial incentive there in this sport to seek the biggest fights possible. Side note, I want to say a big thank you to our fans too. All you guys watching, our subscribers that have rocked with us for the longest time, hitting that 2 million sub milestone that we hit this year. Biggest independent media channel for boxing in the world. Run it back with the, you're terrible, bro. Terrible. We hit 2 million subs while we wait for Bill to get back on here with us. So let me text him again and see what's happening. He was in, he was out, he was in, and he was out. So let's go ahead and see if I can get to the bottom of this Wi-Fi issue. Bill, is everything good? I hope it shouldn't be my Wi-Fi because I'm hooked up to a landline here. Right? Yeah. We're hooked to a landline? Yeah, we're hooked to a landline. All right. Keep the comments and the questions coming along as we wait for Bill to get back in on here. Bill just messaged me. He said, Bill told me to give him 5 minutes. All right. So Bill will be joining us again in 5 minutes. He's not sure if he's resetting his router or resetting his phone. But all right, go and bring some questions, some comments. We can read them. We can talk about it while we wait for Bill to jump on here. Make sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you're watching us and not subscribe. Let's try to hit another milestone. I know YouTube's so weird, man. So YouTube's milestones. So they give you the silver plaque, which is right there at 100,000 subs. And then you have to get 1 million subs to get the gold one. And then they have something called a diamond plaque. And that diamond plaque is for 10 million subs, which is a freaking insane amount of subs. Like guys like Mr. Beast, what is that? Ryan Trahan, like what I consider like the YouTubers, the heavy hitters of YouTube have that diamond plaque. But hey, man, let's try to get as close as possible to that. If anything, thank you guys for rocking with us and continuing to grow this community as well. And just keep spreading the word of Fight Hub. Really appreciate it as well. So we can keep being able to bring you guys things like this in interviews with the other fighters and able to get you this type of content and access as well. So with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and read through some of the comments that you guys have. Tips in, I'm actually watching the Android interview on my work desktop. Yeah, that's a good chat that we had with Demetrius Andrade yesterday. We dropped it, spoke to him in depth about a lot of things that's been happening with him. He's looking for a big 2025 return, but he opened up as well on some of the things that were happening in the background prior to his fight with David Benavidez, stating that, his mother was in the hospital. His brother was in the hospital. His mother, shortly after the Benavidez fight, I believe, passed away. And it just wasn't a good year for him. How he felt like at times pulling out of the Benavidez fight. He told us that, it's not excuses, but he just wanted to let people know like the stuff that was happening in the background in that fight with Benavidez, and him stating like, hey man, like Benavidez, like he knows why like Canelo doesn't want to fight Benavidez, and he doesn't think that Canelo would beat David Benavidez, and he favors David Benavidez to beat David Morrell coming up, which, dude, so they had that Miami press conference. I didn't even know it was a press conference. We sent our Matt Tucker over there to cover the event where David pushed David Morrell. Did you guys see that by chance, that video of the push? I thought it was one, I don't know, like, I feel like with past David fights, like he has amped himself up, and there's been like this bad blood there that he's been getting with the opponents. But like it seems very out of character for David Morrell, who always has come off as a cool, calm, collected type of person to me. So I'm wondering like where this intensity, this animosity is coming from on David Morrell's part. Thank you guys for the super chats. We'll go ahead and get to them as well as we're awaiting Bill. He said he's back on the way in here. But that's a good point, Valiant. When David started bringing up the VADA stuff, that's when Morrell and his team really got fired up. The thing that kind of cracked me up about the whole situation was when David Morrell straight up threw the WBA belt at David, and David moved out of the way. It like we tried to get a meme going with our guy Jay Cruz. I told him, yo, that part where David ducked after Morrell threw the belt, it reminded me when George W. Bush had that shoe thrown at him by the reporter. I don't know, if he was in Iraq or something like that, So that to me was hilarious when that happened. But yeah, that's an interesting fight. That's an interesting fight, man. That is a very interesting fight between Benavidez and Morrell. Andrade and David's dad brought up 2 points, and I know they haven't talked, but they both have said that they feel David's experience is going to make the difference in that fight. That big fight experience and the opponents that he's had at this point. David is starting to make a really good resume with these fights now. He went and fought Andrade, beat Andrade. He went and fought Caleb Plant, beat Caleb Plant. Now, to me, David Morrell, if he goes and he gets a win against David Morrell, a guy that really nobody is calling for a fight for, given he's really, really good. That's the most important thing. People will say like, hey, it's because he doesn't sell. Yeah, that is true. But like the main reason why David Morrell hasn't gotten some of these fights is because the kid is so damn good, so talented. It's a risky fight. All right, let's go ahead and connect with Bill once more. All right, Bill, is it working?
It's working.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. So I mentioned, when is Devin coming back? You had said that Devin wanted to take a year off from boxing, that he's back in the gym, he's hitting mitts, he's training. Is there any offers on the table, Bill? Is there any fights that you guys are close to working on for his return?
Well, I mean, Devin is one of the superstars in boxing. He's the youngest undisputed champion, and also he's the youngest boss in the business. So the opportunities are around the corner. You know what I mean? And, as we take a look at everything, of course, it all has to make, it has to get Devin up. It has to make sense, and also has to fit where we are, right now in his career.
So when you say it has to make sense, does that mean financially, or does that mean the name level of the opponent, or both?
Well, it's always a combination of that. Like I said, this has been the longest layoff that he's had, and
Uh-oh.
We got you. All right, I think you might have gotten a call there, Bill. Dang it. All right, I apologize, guys. Let me tell him to put his phone on Do Not Disturb.
We trying to make it, y'all. We gonna get there for you.
All right, so we're working through this. We'll make this work. We'll eventually land on it being good. So apologies on that, guys. It happens sometimes with internet and data coverage and all that. So we'll get back to Bill. He's been popping in and out. So apologies. We'll get it working. It will work. He's back on. All right,
so
Bill. Okay.
I put the Do Not Disturb on.
Perfect. So you don't get calls. So it doesn't. Yeah, because when you get a call, it'll stop. Yeah. All right. You said it's a combination of both financial and name-wise for opponents coming in. But what I want to know, like, how is Devin? How is Devin doing after this whole year, after everything that's happened?
He's doing good. You know what I mean? Everything that happens, of course, at the end of the fight, he said that God is the perfect planner, and true he is. That couldn't be a more true statement. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. He's been blessed. He's been blessed to be the youngest undisputed champion in boxing, and also be a promoter. A lot of things that we've done have been what I can say for the betterment of boxing, for those that are coming behind Devin, to not have to go through what he's went through with the Ryan Garcia fiasco, at least if they go through it, all the fighters should know that there's going to be consequences and ramifications.
All right, we'll touch on all that in a little bit, but in terms of Devin in this year and his return, like you as like in his corner in the trainer mindset, like have you noticed anything different, like or is there questions that you have of your son coming into this next year in terms of a fight?
No, not at all. I haven't noticed anything. One thing that I'm very proud about is that we got a chance to see is that Devin is a true warrior. You know what I mean? It showed. He got knocked down 3 times. He got up 4. And, and like I said, the show must go on.
All right. So at this point, Bill, are you guys actively working on any, who are you looking at for an opponent? Like, do you want to give Devin a tune-up, or do you want to go right into the big fights?
Well, I look at everything. I look at the complete landscape, and ultimately, as we start sparring, we start getting ready, then I'll start to negotiate. But right now, anybody can get it. Devin has one of the best skill sets in the world. I mean, and we believe in him. So there's no one that he can't fight. It's just a matter about what's going to be next, in his court or his course or his pursuit to be on the Mount Rushmore of boxing.
Is there any changes going to be made at all? Adjustments coming into this year in terms of the corner, or maybe even things you guys want to work on?
Well, we brought in Nate Jones. You know what I mean? I think that everyone has seen that on social media. Nate Jones, a legendary trainer and part of the Floyd Mayweather team. You know what I mean? He's spent a lot of time with Devin as a young fighter. So we just think that he was a great addition. What
was the reasoning behind that addition? What did you guys feel that Nate could bring to the table?
We just want to just tighten up on our defense. We want to be more defensive conscious. I think that Devin answered, was answering and into pleasing the fans with the last fight and the last style that he showed. Like I said, he showed tremendous heart. He stepped to Ryan Garcia, who is a puncher, a fast, quick puncher. And he got hit with a left hook on numerous times. So, I think we've shown what we're working on, to eliminate any of those holes and or chinks in the armor and just move forward.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel that a lot of people have mentioned, like, hey, if there is ever a potential rematch between Devin and Ryan, that's the one thing that needs to be implemented, is blocking that Ryan left hook. I would imagine you guys are aware and cognizant of that now, and that's something that you guys want to tighten up, right?
Well, yeah, we factored it in, but you cannot factor in, the Osterine. You know what I mean? You couldn't factor in how strong he would be and, how fast he would recover. You know what I mean? That's just something that we didn't factor in. I thought that it would be mano y mano, you know what I mean? Man against man on an even playing field. But it wasn't, you know what I mean? And now we have to move on.
So Ryan has contended that this wasn't on purpose, that the Osterine wasn't in any way for a performance advantage. It was to cut weight. Many people felt that was the reason. But do you believe Ryan when he says what he said about the Osterine?
Osterine is a banned substance. It is a PED, and whatever reason that he used it, we know that Osterine helps with speed. It helps with recovery, and even more detrimental to an opponent is that it helps with power. And he has power, so to enhance the power and to use Osterine, he definitely had an advantage. It's something that he pled guilty to the New York State Athletic Commission, and Golden Boy Promotions was awarded $1 million for it.
Mm-hmm. You guys are still going through with the lawsuit, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And to make no mistake about it is, it sets a precedent, not just, for Devin and like I said, the fighters of today, but it'll set a precedent for the fighters of tomorrow, the champions that are clean, the fighters that are clean, that there will be ramifications and consequences behind anyone that's using PEDs in any form.
Yeah, because we've heard fighters speak out about that. We've heard Oscar speak out about that. Oscar saying like, hey, boxers batter each other, they assault each other in the ring. Like, how could you be suing for this? Like, what would you say in response to that? To people saying, hey, like, how can you sue over a boxing match? That this is what you guys do.
Oscar's running out of shit to say. He's running out of things to do. The promoter of yesteryear is about gone. You know what I mean? The promoter that can create all the narratives and the spin doctor that he is. Of course, you know that battering a fighter is part of the game, but never is battering a fighter and using drugs. But you know what I mean? Oscar, he's used drugs in the past, whether they've been recreational or any other sort. I know him to use recreational drugs, so maybe he's just pro drug use. But drugs are not. There's no place for drugs in boxing, and we're standing on that.
So how does it? I don't know. Does that get in the way? That lawsuit get in the way of the rematch for you guys?
Well, I mean, like I said, is that Devin is a champion. Ryan Garcia is not. You know what I mean? Oscar De La Hoya hasn't been able to, with all his rhetoric and all that, is to make a champion out of Ryan Garcia, not as a pro. I think that his dad, Ryan Garcia's dad, has taken pride that he was a 12-time national amateur champion, but he hasn't been able to become a pro. And, if you're talking about legacy and you're talking about making history, Devin has done that. He's proven that, and he's a future Hall of Famer. So, you know what I mean? We've all made money in the sport, but I mean, to do it the right way with 20 years of working, you know what I mean? You don't get to the biggest fight, the fight to become a world champion, and then use drugs such as Osterine, and then say that you weren't scared, you weren't intimidated. Very much so, you were. You know what I mean? Going into it, and it showed.
Personally, on a personal level for you guys, do you want to go through with the rematch because of what happened and what is happening with the lawsuit?
Oh yeah, Devin wants to fight anybody that the people want to see, more importantly, but he wants it to be on a level playing field. He's not using drugs, and he doesn't expect anyone else to use drugs. And that comes down to him as a fighter concentrating on fighting, concentrating on being prepared. But then from a management standpoint, right, and from a company standpoint, I have to take the blame. I failed in that part of it. That falls on me because I'm supposed to make sure that he's straight, that the other fighter isn't on drugs. We weren't able to detect the drugs because obviously, you're able to stay hydrated and mask the drugs until the very last minute. as he cut the weight, as the water went, the drugs were detected in his fat tissue.
Because I know it's like in terms of like the one fight that comes up to me where like I was told like, hey, he doesn't want to do the rematch because of what happened, because of the personal animosity between the two, was Cotto and Margarito. And I've been told for the longest time Cotto had like a vendetta against Margarito because of what happened, and he didn't really want to give him the rematch until it just made so much overwhelming financial sense that he went ahead and did it. But he still didn't want Margarito to make a single cent with him because of what happened. I don't know if that's the case at all with you guys, but that's why I bring that up, that I have observed in the past things like that where there's such personal issues where they're like, no, we're never giving this guy a rematch because of so-and-so and so-and-so reasons.
Well, we listen, we do it for the people. We do it for the people, man. We do what the people call for. They're the ones that pay the bills, not the promoters. The networks, if the fans want to see a fight, then there's a network that wants to put it on. The days of the Oscar De La Hoyas saying what he wants and what's going to happen, are over with. I think he came on and he said that there is no need for a rematch or something like that. And I think he said that on the channel. But that's him, not listening to the people. That's him not, creating fake narratives as if the people aren't calling for it. But one thing there's a general consensus is that we want to know what's really going on in boxing. We want to know who's really it. And the way to do it is that they would go in and they would do vital testing 365 days. And you know what I mean? And let the people know that he's a clean fighter. I think you saw me publicly go out and offer him an opportunity to enroll in VADA to prove that he's a clean fighter, right? And he chose not to.
So with the rematch, given that you do manage Devin, I would imagine, you guys are going to want the VADA testing if there is a rematch. But what else would be different? I would imagine the weight would be different too, right?
The biggest thing is drug testing. That's the biggest stickler for us and with him. You know what I mean? I think that he's openly said that he was smoking weed. He's openly said that he was drinking. He's openly said that he was crazy, right? So if you're crazy enough to do it the first time, then you're crazy enough to do it the second time. That's the stickler. You know what I mean? That he enrolls in a program. I think he once said that he was going to go to rehab after he made some disparaging remarks, racial, to say the least. And he went back on his word on that. So we just don't know what Ryan Garcia is going to do. And then when you have a guy like Oscar De La Hoya, no telling. You know what I mean? We don't know how deep the conspiracy runs.
Okay. Looking towards 2025, I know a lot of fans are wanting to see Devin back in the ring. We did an interview with Bob Arum, which he stated that there was a fight presented to you guys against Teofimo Lopez. It fell through. What is your response to Bob Arum saying that?
Bob, like I said, when you have Devin as a promoter, you have our team. We know how vindictive promoters can be, and we know how they can lie. Bob Arum was not 100% truthful in the sense of that Turki Al-Sheikh put a fight on the table for Devin and Teofimo Lopez in Riyadh season. I think that the fight with that Turki put on the table was an opportunity where there wouldn't be any squalms or, you know what I mean, any flack towards either team. It was a fair opportunity for us to come to the table. We don't work for Bob. We're not handcuffed to Bob. Teofimo Lopez is. So to say that you put something on the table for us when you haven't sold a pay-per-view, you haven't sold out an arena, and then to say that you put something on the table where you would be the A side and we would be the B side was an insult. And I believe that they knew that it was an insult as to why he came out and he said it. But he left out the fact that they turned down the deal when Turki Al-Sheikh put it on the table.
So did the Turki offer come before the separate top rank? There were two separate offers there.
No, absolutely. The Turki Al-Sheikh came first. I was talking to and negotiating with Top Rank's attorney. I don't know. I have it on Do Not Disturb and it still comes on. Why is that?
Not sure, but continue, Bill.
Okay. And, Top Rank's attorney was extremely disappointed in the fact that it didn't work and didn't come through. He expressed that he was disappointed. You know what I mean? And I told him, listen, we'll just have to wait and see see if Turki puts something else on the table and see if Teofimo Lopez changes his mind. Then all of a sudden, later on, I would believe a publicity stunt that they came with this BS. as if Teofimo Lopez and as if Top Rank had some rank in this. No, I didn't mind looking at them eye level and saying, let's cut the best deal. But when you say that we're obligated or that, you know what I mean, what we need to do and we need to take something that's not a straight play, I mean, it didn't make sense. And I showed it to him. I said that I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? And, I gave it no reply.
How long ago was the Turkey offer? And then how long ago was the Top Rank offer?
I think it was around, it was before the first fight that Devin would have been in October. I believe that was one of the first fights. And then the fight with Teofimo Lopez would have been the first quarter of 2025.
Who was being eyed for that October return?
We didn't get that far. We didn't get that far.
Okay. But that, Turkey had put that in place for it to happen with Riyadh season. Did you hear anything from Top Rank as to why that didn't happen? Like the Turkey, why did the Turkey deal fall through? Well, because I would imagine it's good money. It was good money for both.
Right. Well, they said that Teofimo wasn't interested.
Okay. Did they say like what particular reason?
But Top Rank was, according to the Top Rank attorney, they liked the deal that Teofimo didn't.
Oh, he didn't like the deal financially.
I don't know if he didn't like the deal or he didn't like the fight. He just turned it down.
Okay, and then Top Rank sent you another one for this coming next year, and that's the one where you weren't too happy with the stipulations.
Well, it didn't make sense because Top Rank is not our promoter. You know what I mean? And I feel that it's a mutual fight that the people want to see, and that's the fight that we want to give them. But Top Rank they have no rank. They hold no rank with us in terms of that. Teofimo Lopez has that ball and chain around his ankle. So he's publicly said that he hasn't made over $1 million. He's complained about Top Rank several times, right, Marcos? Has he not complained?
He said a few things here and there. Yeah, Teo has over the past year.
About him not being happy with Top Rank, correct?
He's alluded to things like that. But, to be fair, too, Teo says things also that you don't know where they're coming from either, to be honest.
So exactly. And that's pretty much consistent with what he's saying right now. He's not 100% always been there. I think Top Rank has come out and said that he doesn't make offers and he doesn't do this. But when it came to Bob Arum not being 100% right for it with saying that Turkey had put something on the table, now I challenge, you know what I mean, the media, to ask Bob, did Turkey put something on the table? Ask Turkey himself, did he put something on the table? Was he interested in the fight? You know what I mean? And then we go from there.
Man, I'm bummed. That's one of the fights. If it's not Ryan and Devin rematch, I think one of the biggest ones outside of Gervonta is Devin and hey, Devin. Oh man, no, Devin, get back here. No, you're on camera. We got to get you on here.
Hey, saying hello.
No, Devin, how are you? You got to come back. How are you doing?
I'm about to go work out. Just saying hello.
Yeah, when are you coming back? Can you tell us anything about a date or anything? Soon.
He says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to Devin as well. Unexpected, but good to see him. Feel free to come back on here, Devin, if you want. Hey, okay.
Sure. For sure.
Awesome. And the invite's always open to Devin as well to get on here when the time is right for him. So then, Bill, with that being said, you guys are in a position where you guys are your own bosses, more or less. I don't want to say, free agents, right?
No. Listen, no. We are. Devin is the boss, right?
Okay.
I'm so happy to have a job that every day I can do my best to work for my son, right? And as you see him right there, he's happy, right? He's enjoying life. You know what I mean? But we went and we involved Top Rank, right? We involved Top Rank, and everyone says, well, going to Australia is the right thing to do. You have to do that. You have to go over there. Then you have to go over there once. You have to go over there twice. Then they said, well, you have to involve Lomachenko. You beat Lomachenko, and then you write your own check, right? So we did that, right? Our profile, we got in a fight with Ryan Garcia. We delivered to the people what they said was something that Tank did, right? Or something that you want to do is you want to be able to bring and make this big fight happen. Well, we're tired of the excuses about the numbers. You don't know the numbers and you need this threshold, you need this to be made. No, we need to do it straight across the board. Top Rank doesn't have a network. They're promoters, just like Devin. So to say that you're going to put something on the table or you're going to do that, that's all bullshit, Marcos. That's bullshit. And hopefully for the fighters that come behind us, they'll be able to be what Eddie Hearn has described, the bosses. They're the talent. The promoters are the middlemen. They're supposed to promote. They're supposed to bring awareness and bring attention. They're not supposed to say, my fighter, my fighter can't do this, my fighter can't do that. No, the fighter is supposed to be able to do what the fighter wants to do. He's supposed to be able to make the decisions and not the other way around. And hopefully this can be an end to all that rhetoric and all that BS. Devin, when I said that it was the Devin Haney era and a lot of things were going to he was going to bring a lot of light to a lot of issues. And I think that he has, whether it had been the franchise, whether it had been, traveling across different platforms, and now when you're being wronged, right, is you take the recourse at the same thing that the promoters always threaten about. They threaten about a lawsuit. I think you've seen where Oscar De La Hoya was upset about the fight in Japan and he threatened to file a lawsuit. Well, wait a minute. If Ryan Garcia is the boss, right, and he's the talent, and he believes that he wants to have a fight in Timbuktu, well, why can't he have the fight? What do you mean that you're tied to him and he can't do what he wants to do? Those days are over with if you follow the Devin Haney blueprint. But if you continue to act like you don't know what's going on and like you don't see what we've done, then you'll be forced to stay in the horse and buggy days. You'll be forced to that promoters continue to piss on top of your head and tell you that it's rain.
So with that being said, I don't know, is there gonna be, or do you feel like there's could be issues with working with the other promoters? Because I know, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, I've seen that there have been offers for fights, and from what I've read, and this is the part where you could inform me and us, I've read that either the fights didn't make sense to you guys on a financial sense, not meeting the minimum purse for a fight, or there were other issues to get those fights.
Well, that brings attention to the fact of that as fighters, no, not just Devin, but every fighter should be able to do what they want to do. It's not about the promoters and the promoters telling them what to do, right? Are we going to be able to have an opportunity because there's 3 or 4 promoters that are controlling the game when there's hundreds of fighters? It makes no sense at all. And to tell you the truth is that they're not getting any younger. Devin is the youngest of the bunch and the most accomplished. So they're running out of time. We're not.
Okay. In an ideal situation, Bill, how are you going to map this 2025 for Devin? How active would you like to see him? If you could have a list of opponents in an order, who would that be?
Listen, it's about the business. It's about the business. And it's enough of talking about all the other promoters and all that. Let's talk about new players that's in the game. Let's talk about the BLK Primes of the world. Let's talk about the MVPs of the world. What a wonderful job they're doing. Jake Paul. And let's talk about new blood, new people, new situations that can happen and bring boxing back to its glory days. Because what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing a bunch of rhetoric. I'm seeing a bunch of promoters creating narratives where Turkey al-Sheikh came to the game and that was supposed to be over with. It was supposed to be that now fighters were the boss. Fighters were going to have stuff on the table and we were going to be licensing out the talent of the fighter and giving the promoter their cut, whether it be 3%, whether it be 5%. But now you're talking about promoters controlling the pot, controlling the narrative. Come on, man. Those days are over with. With social media, guess what? They're relying on the fighters to do the promoting. They're relying on the fighters to use their social platforms. They don't have the days of yesteryear where you have only Ring Magazine or you have only HBO to do it 24/7 or Showtime, to do it 24/7. You have platforms like Fight Hub TV and Marcos Viegas.
Oh, thank you.
You have other platforms. You have other platforms. You have the LDBC. You have new media. You have a lot of opportunities to go where you want to go and tell your story. You don't necessarily just need one promoter, right, to say that he's in control and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. That's over with, Marcos.
Okay, you mentioned MVP and Jake. They did that huge viewership with the Mike Tyson fight. It kind of gets my wheels turning. Are you angling to have Devin fight on a Jake Paul card?
Listen, Jake over there and the Kisa over there are doing a heck of a job, right? And I'm saying is Desmond and Black BLK Prime is doing a heck of a job. Shout out to Fight Hype too, right? But these are some wonderful opportunities, man. The days where only one promoter is controlling everything or 2 or 3 promoters are controlling, they don't have the power anymore, right? It was before when you guys weren't around, right? When you guys weren't around, to get the exposure that you needed, you had to go to an ESPN. You had to go to an HBO. You had to go to a Showtime because the world wouldn't know who you are. And I mean, you see right now, we're all over the media. So what promoter is doing that? I mean, do we give the credit? Do we say that we need? And you see a lot of the social channels. You know, we got a guy.
Oh no! Wait! Let's not. I don't want to attack people in other platforms and all that.
I'm on here. I can do what I want to do.
Yeah, but
I'm going to tell you. Listen,
wait, Bill. Hold on. Just on the MVP issue.
Wait,
have you guys
Marcos.
spoken to MVP
Marcos,
and Jake and
wait a minute.
Nikisa?
Marcos, see, now this is one thing that I'm telling you. I'm explaining to you.
Yeah.
We do what we want to do, and we talk about who we want to talk about, and we defend it the way that we want to defend it.
Yeah, but the fans don't want to hear you like grill these content creators.
No, wait a minute. You can't tell me what the fans want to hear. How do you know? That's one group of fans. And
yeah, but they're here on this platform wanting us to talk about, you know, what's going on with Devin, not like roasting these other guys.
No, listen. Well, when I come and I want every father and mother to know, of course, everybody wants to try to shoot shots and they don't want us to shoot back. No, ours is fully loaded, and the Walmart managers of the world, that doesn't work.
Walmart. I saw your social. I know what you're referring. I saw I saw the social post, but
I've been looking for him.
Going back, has there been any discussions, any communications with MVP? Like, it just makes me think, like, why would you mention MVP if you guys aren't thinking about that?
Listen, because that's what it's about. It's about bringing attention to not only other platforms, other YouTube platforms. You're a big guy. And when I told you, when I put on there, I said on Twitter, I said, hey, all the new guys, right? I said, all the new guys, let's cook in 2024, right? I said, come on, let's get it booming. And what did you do? You hit me, right?
Yeah.
And what did I tell you?
You called me.
I called you. And what did I say?
You said that was for the little guys, but we could always do stuff with you.
Yeah, I said that. I said that was for the guys that need a shot. I can always call you, Marcos, but sometimes, like I said, the content creators, the new content creators, the new platforms, whether it be MVP, whether it be BLK Prime, they deserve an opportunity too. This is not about freezing everyone out, because guess what, Marcos? I remember those days. I remember those days when they were running narratives and freezing us out. So now that we're at the top of the game, we're willing to work with everybody. We've worked with Golden Boy. We've worked with Top Rank. We've worked with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So why wouldn't we work with BLK Prime? Why wouldn't we work with MVP Promotions? Why not, Marcos?
Okay. Yeah, that was what I was getting to with the question. Was, you know, based on that, like, is it going to be difficult to secure fights or opponents because of these issues with the other promoters? But you're saying no, it's not.
Listen, let me tell you. Okay. Listen. When you talk about bringing the hardcore boxing fans, being the youngest undisputed champion, there's not a hardcore boxing fan that doesn't know who Devin the Dream Haney is, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So when you talk about, is it an opportunity for him to fight? He's all over all the social blogs. He's all over everyone. He's for all intent purposes booming in boxing and out of boxing. So giving an opportunity to a fighter that's not. An opportunity for a fighter that's not necessarily known amongst the hardcores, that's not necessarily known in hip hop, so to speak, right? That's Devin. Now, if the fighter wants to listen to the promoter and say, well, I'm not going to take advantage of that opportunity to fight, well, then don't worry about it. Stay where you're at. But we're into this. We're into pushing boxing forward. And at 26 years old, Devin the Dream Haney can do it.
All right, Bill, with that said, like I mentioned, this year for sure, 2025, we will see Devin back in the ring. By when, you feel?
I'd give the timeline, a year to the date, maybe. You know what I mean?
So by April.
By April, yeah.
By
April, he'll be back in there. He'll be back in the ring.
Okay, so right now he's like pre-camp, right? He's back in the gym working.
Yes, because one thing as a trainer and a manager, I consider myself, I've studied the greats. I've been around the greats. I've been around the Rogers. I've been around, the Floyd Mayweather Seniors, Eddie Mustafas of the world. I pride myself on studying the boxing game. It's a guy by the name of Ray Arcel out of Harlem, New York. Who was a brilliant boxing mind. He had Roberto Duran, he had Ezra Charles, Larry Holmes, who never boxed a day of his life, whether it be amateur or pros. But he was astute. He was a brainiac as far as this boxing. I won't put Devin in or negotiate anything unless he's in the ring doing what he's supposed to do. And we're at that point right now where we're going to do some sparring here this week, get a real good look at him. And then I'll start to decide and pick where we're going. But the landscape, the landscape is thick. and the opportunities are around the corner. Unlike some of your co-content creators that want to run a narrative as if we're not in boxing. We're more boxing than they believe.
140 is stacked right now, but I also think of, these guys eventually will move up to 147. Is a move to 147 at all in the plans for Devin this year?
We don't know. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to say one way or another. You know what I mean? I do want to say that he's going to be back and he's going to put on a heck of a performance. You're going to see a different Devin Haney in the ring for sure.
All right, man. Yeah, that's what fans want to hear. That's what they've been waiting to hear. When there's a return, I know you guys are looking towards potential opponents as well, but hopefully by April we will see him back in the ring, and then those big fights and rematches with him and Ryan, him and Teo, and him and the other people at 140 pounds.
That was what you were supposed to tell Oscar De La Hoya when he was in front of you and he had all that rhetoric about.
Well, no, I asked him. He said that the rematch does make sense financially. That him personally, because of what happened, but I think the rematch is the biggest that can be made in boxing right now. That's the biggest fight that you could potentially make in boxing, is that rematch, just because of everything that happened and the build up to it. Like it's a natural story there.
Absolutely, and for him to say anything else is rhetoric. It's rhetoric that we need to push out of boxing. What we need to do is to make this sport a clean sport, right? And give the people the power. Put the power back into people to make the fights happen, and not the promoters that are controlling the narratives.
All right. Hey, is Devin still around? Does he want to say one last thing before we go?
No, he's already went to work. He's already going to work out.
Already at the gym. Okay.
And that's the thing is that one more thing is that me and him work as one, right? I'm saying and conveying to the people his sentiments, right? I catch a lot of flack for doing it, right? But I accept that, right? I accept that. And I encourage other mothers and other fathers to take an active role, to not run from the trolls, right? To show up and show down and believe in their kids. Find the talent. Listen, the talent is at home. The stars are at home and not on television.
Good stuff, Bill. Good. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. Thank you. I look forward to your guys' return in 2025, and nothing but positivity to you and Devin this coming year. I hope you guys are able to achieve your goals, both professionally and personally. Thank you for the time, Bill. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let's have fun. Let's have fun with this boxing. And no matter what, the fans deserve to do what they do. If they like Devin, they like him, and we love it. If they hate him, then we love that too. It's all part of it. I love the fact that they take our time to give him any kind of energy. But Marcos, they want me to give them the energy back.
Hey, do you, bro? Do you go after them if you want? No.
I don't go after anyone. Like I said, I just give them back what they want. It's all sports and entertainment at the end of the day.
Good stuff. That is Bill Haney. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That was Bill speaking to us live. Projected return of Devin Haney coming up in April. And thank you to Devin for popping in for briefly in this interview. Man, that's a wrap. That is the last interview that I will be doing for 2020.
sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I was muted the whole time. Nate Jones is training him. So their focus is now mostly offense and defense. They want to tune up some of the defense because he was getting hit with shots he should not have been getting hit with. So Nate Jones is in there, and they're going to start working and tweaking on showing him some things offensively too. A lot of tips that Nate has in his, because he's a teacher of the game. So he's one of the best ones in the game, period. Rick Timms. If a guy takes steroids, right, and you beat him, you still got hit by a guy that was on steroids. You're not hitting a baseball, okay? You're not shooting a basketball or throwing a football, okay? Boxing, you hit the other person. So if somebody takes steroids and beat me, I could die. Do you realize that, Rick? This ain't a video game. You could die. You could be a vegetable and your family got to take care of you for the rest of your life. We've seen that already. Years and years in this sport. There's fighters messed up now because guys that they believe was on steroids was beating on them. So yes, this gonna set the precedence to say, hey, you gonna have to face consequences for coming in here on steroids and then beating on us. That stuff can take life or years away out of your career. So Rick Timms, if somebody's on steroids and they're doing that, I have a problem with that. And by the way, Devin was winning the fight. Devin was outboxing him. He wasn't winning all the rounds. The knockdowns is what got him the victory. But he got up. He didn't knock him out. Well, if that's the case, yeah, Ryan Garcia cheated, pure and simple. When do we protect the cheaters? That's what I want to know. I was giving him credit of the doubt, the benefit of the doubt, and saying he might didn't know he took it. But I think they knew, his team knew he took it. Somebody knew something over there. Because he didn't really surround them guys with steroid guys. So it's just crazy. The small amount that was in his system is not the case, okay? Because he could have been tapering off, and then they just caught that amount. All that means is that you've been on it. It's not about how much is in your system. It's just enough to know that where they got it from. Like they could tell if you got it from eating food, like they use certain steroids for chickens and stuff like that over in Mexico when you eat Mexican meat. So they could tell these things, right? Where you've gotten it in your system from eating food, like Canelo did. When Devin dominated through the rounds, he was boxing and sticking and moving. You don't understand. It's not about the horrible game plan and all that, what you're talking about. He got hurt early from a left hook when it started. So yes, it was defensively. Yes, he has to improve on some things defensively. But believe me, steroids can keep you on your feet and keep you in the fight a lot longer than you should be in the fight. your reaction time would be quicker. Shots that normally would drop you would probably keep you up. Because Devin hit him with a shot in round 2 that would have probably put Ryan Garcia on his butt. Okay? Let's just say he looked a lot different when he fought Tank than when he fought Devin. Size-wise, attitude-wise, he was just out of his mind, emotional, crazy. Like, it was like he was on something. If it was tainted by VADA, that's a big what if when they have sample 1 and sample B. And the fact is that they had the same results. So you can't do both. And why would VADA tamper with the samples? It doesn't matter to VADA if they're positive or not. VADA's paid regardless. They're not a boxing promoting company. Victor Conte is a cheater, yes, and now he makes more money not cheating. So, I mean, y'all arguments are crazy. Do you know the people that work to catch scammers and stuff like that were criminals that used to be scammers? You know, Catch Me If You Can, the guy who was the biggest fraud guy that Leonardo DiCaprio played. Who did he do? What did they do? Did they put him in jail? No, they gave him a job to work for the government to catch people just like him. So Victor Conte now is catching people that used to do the stuff he used to do. That's because people just talking. That's all it is. So that's how social media is now. They know nothing about the fight game. They don't know nothing about boxing. They don't know that somebody's life on the line. I'll be pretty pissed off if somebody cheated to beat me. And then they get to hit me too. Right? They hitting me and they cheating, and I found out they cheated to win. Like, it's people that was defending Margarito. Margarito's going there with plasters, cement. Like, he got a cast on his hand. And he getting in the ring fighting guys. You can kill people. He almost ruined Miguel Cotto's career. Ended it. He was never the same again after that fight. He was never the same again after that. They beat that man with man, it was bloody everywhere. And he wore those against Paul Williams too. They just don't talk about it because Paul Williams still won. He won the first 6 rounds, and in the next 5 rounds, he was backing up when Margarito was hitting him because all that plaster got hard. And he was hitting him, and you can see it was totally bothering Paul Williams. And he gave up the last 5 rounds, and then in the last round, Margarito was dead tired, and he won the last round to win the fight. 7-5. No, Dev kept going for a feint. That's how he was catching him with the hook. He'll feint, boom, and come around and whip the hook. He'll feint, get Devin to like move his hands. So defensively, they have to work on things and not backing straight up with their arms out. He's gonna look entirely different with Nate Joe. I guarantee you that. Defensively, he's not gonna look the same way. No matter what fight he got next, I just know he ain't gonna look like the Devin you ever seen fight. Even the Devin that beat Lomachenko, you are not gonna see the same Devin that you've seen before. He's gonna be advanced. Stepping to Ryan wasn't the problem. keeping your head online was a problem. Backing straight up was a problem. Not fighting at angles. Taking away his left hook. All of those things like he was doing in the fight, and he would like fall asleep because he was rolling. The rounds was going, he's rolling. You know, then he got caught. You know, you like almost you fall asleep in the ring. But steroids will do that. Devin won all the rounds. He outboxed Ryan Garcia every round. He just got caught. So yeah, the Osterine and the steroids would be the problem, because he's never been that strong and that big in the ring. Right. Now he can't control that. Devin can't control the steroid, but he can control what he could do in the ring and what he could do better and evolve and become better. Yeah, just because he's helping him defensively, I don't think Devin won't be better offensively. He will be better offensively. He will be punching different. I can guarantee you that. There's ways you can punch that he probably never even thought about. And with Nate, you're going to know how to do that. Nate's going to teach you little short things, little small things to improve on what you do. How you can get more snap, more little power, short shots, short jabs, pop, pop, little snap jabs, get some people attention. It's a lot of little tricks that people don't know because all the teachers are gone. Those guys are gone. They done passed away. So thank y'all, man. Don't forget to subscribe to this page and become a member. Join the membership. We got the Nate Jones membership. Make sure y'all sign up and be a member so y'all get to see exclusive stuff that no one else get to see. Nate's gonna do giveaways here. So you might have some exclusive Devin training footage. You're gonna have a lot of it here. So just go on and check. We already got some out just for free, just so y'all can see it. But definitely subscribe to the page, man. Appreciate y'all time. And we out.